Channel. Here's your local forecast on the Weather Channel.
May be losing strength, but it's still dumping flooding rains as it races to the northeast. And as Floyd moves away, communities like this one in Maryland are able to survey the damage. Hello, I'm Paul Goodlow, and welcome to the special edition of Weather Center. I'll have the nation's weather and your Friday forecast coming up, but Floyd is still the center of attention. Here's Christina Abernathy in the Forecast Center.
All right, thanks a lot, Paul. And of course, Floyd now a tropical storm, but we can still have some windy conditions, and more importantly, we're still going to see a great deal of rain as Floyd races off to the northeast. And proof of that can be found in several areas tonight. Norfolk, Virginia is trying to dry out after Floyd soaked the coastal city. Roads were underwater there and today, and several vehicles were also stranded. And in Delaware, there were problems as well. We had reports of a bus that was just no match for the surging waters there. No reports of injuries, but flooding caused problems in many areas of Delaware. Well, now let's take a look at the latest statistics associated with a tropical storm Floyd, and this is where it is centered. We've got it now at 39.3 north, 74.6 west. That puts the center about 10 miles south of Atlantic City. The winds are now down to 65 miles per hour, and it is racing off to the north-northeast at 30 miles per hour. The pressure, 974 millibars. We have tropical storm warnings in effect from Cape Charles, Virginia, northward to the Merrimack River and Massachusetts. North of there to East Point, Maine, gale warnings in effect, so you can expect winds 39 to 54 miles per hour there. So obviously still feeling the effects of what is now Tropical Storm Floyd. We have been covering it throughout the event live on the scene. We're joined now by Jim Cantori, who joins us now live from Lookout Point, New York.
Well, Christina, the wind continues to be an issue here. We've gotten a little bit of a lull in the rain, but I don't know what's worse, having it pouring down rain and having you be soaked, or when the rain ends, all the sand that's on the beach comes whipping at you like little babies. So I guess I take the rain, which is the bottom line here. But the winds are still kicking up. You can see how the wave action behind me here continues to surge toward the beaches and the jetty as well, and some of those rocks where we're getting those waves crashing against the rocks, and that spray is going up easily about 20 feet. Now, of course, as I'm describing that to you, that is not happening, but we have seen cases where people have actually walked out there a little ways and perhaps wish they did not. That is not a safe place to be when there is that kind of wave action crashing up against the jetty. And what's amazing to me is this isn't even the worst of the waves. We're protected to the southeast by Jones Beach, and that area, of course, is keeping us from the biggest waves. But no doubt the beaches are taking a bashing, and as we heard about before, we are going to see a lot of beach erosion here on the south shore of Long Island, as they are going to see on the Jersey shore. But some of the biggest problems in the city have been the rain. They actually let, for the first time, Christina, schools close as a result of a non-snow event. So that's absolutely unbelievable here. Other than that, I can look down some of these streets here where we are, and there is still power in some of the buildings, but there have been power outages in Nassau County. There have been power outages in Suffolk County, and one report earlier on tonight had as many as 26,000 on Long Island alone without power. But everybody's ready. They need to batten down the hatches and deal with this as we go through the next 3 hours or so, as we appear to be getting the worst of what Floyd has to offer for us. Well, down the road a piece, they've already dealt with the worst of Floyd. That's find out just how bad it was. Bill Keneally is with us in the Chesapeake Bay. Bill?
All right, Jim, thanks a lot again. Thankfully, we're on the dry side of things now. Not a typical looking tropical storm in the sense that the wind structure is all over the map, meaning that the strongest winds are not necessarily near the core of the tropical storm. In fact, we're still getting winds out of the west here as of 5 o'clock today, still gusting as high as 60 miles per hour at the nearby Naval Air Station. So it's still rather brisk out here tonight. We have a tropical storm warning. We have a high wind warning. A lot of curiosity seekers out there, a lot of gawkers out there. All I can tell you is still take it easy and watch for the downed trees and the downed power lines. And I'm not going to turn around and look at that water because my hat will end up in Ocean City. What I want to show you, though, is some of the damage incurred earlier today around the area. We've had reports of a lot of power out, and no doubt a function of all the trees that are down, and no doubt that is a function of the very, very saturated soil. See some of these roof walls here just sitting in water, so the trees are down, still sporadic outages. The local power companies are doing what they can to restore power here, and an awful lot of standing water. That brings up one more point, the high tide. The high tide is at 8 o'clock tonight. The good news is, with the wind now out of the northwest, this side of the bay should be okay. The bad news is the eastern shore area, anywhere from, say, west of Salisbury down to the Bay Bridge Tunnel, may in fact catch some of the Chesapeake Bay surge. So anybody over there, please use caution tonight. So that's it from here. Let's turn it back now to Christina.
All right, Bill and Jim, thanks a lot for those reports.
Okay.
Well, Floyd has caused a lot of problems, obviously, but there may be some good that comes out of Floyd, including bringing rain to the Middle Atlantic region. And, for example, Washington, D.C., you've had a very long, dry summer there, and you don't need the flooding, but you're very thankful for the rain. So you can see a lot of wet roads out there, tremendous amounts of rain for some folks in the Mid-Atlantic states and in the Northeast. Is it going to break the drought? Well, we're joined now by our severe weather expert, Dr. Greg Forbes, and it's affecting, of course, not only the Mid-Atlantic states, the Northeast, too. We've even had some record-breaking rains in Philadelphia.
That's right. This rain will break the drought that goes back to July 1998, and basically evening out the precip totals over that 14-month period. We've set a record today in Philadelphia. The 6.6 inches so far today breaks an all-time 24-hour and daily record that dated back to 1898. And so quite an event. All told, in the Philadelphia metropolitan area, there will be 6 to 12 inches of rain by the time the rain is over, and it's almost over right now. There are flash flood watches still in effect, meaning conditions are still favorable in that southeasterly flow, ahead of the center of Floyd from New Jersey and eastern Pennsylvania up into New England. And flash flood warnings, meaning that there is flooding in progress. Don't go out driving this evening. You're going to encounter flooded roadways, and it's becoming increasingly dangerous after dark. So stay in this evening. Let these waters run off.
Well, we can take a look at the radar, and we still see plenty of wet weather out there. It is ending from the south, but still plenty of rain northward.
That's exactly the case. The Trenton area up toward parts of New England, western Connecticut, and Massachusetts are still getting very heavy rain. And the rain is going to continue spreading. It should end over Pennsylvania and New Jersey by about 10 p.m., over most of New York State by about midnight, and then up 3 or 4 in the morning it should pass through off to the northeast of Massachusetts.
And we can look at some of those rainfall totals, and tremendous amounts of rain have already fallen in these areas, and no doubt we'll see those tallies on the increase too.
Indeed. Most of the area is going to have at least 6 inches of rain, and in places, as we see there, up to 19 inches.
All right, Dr. Greg Forbes, our severe weather expert, thanks a lot for that information. We'll check back in with you in just a bit. And we want to sort of recap what's going on here. Again, it's a tropical storm now. Floyd is, but we will continue to see some windy conditions and, more importantly, flooding rain, so be careful out there. Well, if you need additional information, you can always check us out online at weather.com if you can't be near your TV set. But for now, we head back to the studio with Paul Goodlow.
Thanks, Christina. Across the nation, we do have high pressure building in behind Floyd, so you're quickly bringing in the cooler, drier air. That's great news for the Carolinas, now for Virginia. You are seeing little breaks of the cloud cover, some sunshine, and you're also feeling the humidity. It's gone because we're bringing in the cooler, drier continental air, and that's going to help any of the flooding that we're already seeing and have seen in the last 2 days here to a little quicker get recovered from that. Also out towards the west, we still have that persistent upper level low. It's been there for like the last 2 days. Numerous counties being warned for severe thunderstorms. We actually have a severe thunderstorm watch in effect for parts of northern Arizona. That does include Flagstaff and Prescott. And this is the area we are concerned with the most for strong to severe thunderstorms right now. Yavapai County, you still have a severe thunderstorm warning in effect for that strong thunderstorm in your county right now, probably for the next 5 minutes as it continues to diminish as it moves on towards Interstate 40. Again, if you're traveling in Arizona tonight, Interstate 40, Interstate 17, Interstate 8, Interstate 10, expect some stormy conditions. Also across the border into New Mexico, we are still watching a few strong thunderstorms. We had some severe thunderstorms earlier in San Miguel County. That has since died down, but still numerous showers and thunderstorms. Also now just north of Arizona, some of those thunderstorms have crossed the border into Utah. We still have San Juan County and Kane County both being warned for severe thunderstorm warnings right now, so take care. Yesterday we saw hail between golf ball and baseball size, and that could do quite a bit of damage to your car or your truck if you're traveling in this region. Temperatures right now towards the west are not as bad as they have been. We're not talking triple-digit heat. We're talking only 97 degrees right now in Phoenix, 93 in Las Vegas. Along the coast, it is still chilly with that marine layer onshore flow. 66 in San Diego, 66 in San Francisco, even Seattle. That's cold, 60 degrees right now. The Midwest, that's where the high pressure is, keeping you nice and dry. Current temperatures are in the 60s and 70s. Overnight lows tonight, we're dropping into the 40s, some cases into the 30s. Meanwhile, the southeast is still holding on to a few 90s here in Houston and San Antonio. Otherwise, you're also pleasantly cool. Atlanta right now, 79 degrees. The northeast, this is the muggy spot. New York City, you're still under that tropical air because of Floyd. That will quickly end, though. Look at Philly. You're at 63, D.C. at 61 degrees. Now, your forecast calls for Tropical Storm Floyd to continue to move pretty rapidly on towards the northeast. Behind it, we start seeing that cooler, drier air filter in because of this high pressure system, and we'll start waking up in the morning in Philly with sunshine. New York City, you'll still see some clouds, but we can still see well over 5 inches of rain because of Tropical Storm Floyd as it continues to move on towards the northeast. Now, here are those overnight lows. Take a look at the Midwest. Yes, those are 30s for just north of St. Louis, just south of Chicago. It's going to be chilly in downstate Illinois. And then also take a look at the high temperatures tomorrow. You can barely find some 90s in South Texas. Well, stay with us. We'll have the updates on the roadways next on TravelWise after your local forecast.
It's happening again.
Where's it centered?
I got it. It's centered on Elwood Drive.
Go! Back, all the lanes back.
2.7.
Yeah.
2.9.
Oh, I'm feeling it. Go, move it. Go.
Yeah! Oh! I just saved hundreds of dollars by switching to Geico. Yeah!
Geico Direct. A 15-minute call could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Now our first denture cleanser keeps dentures feeling clean all day. New Fix-It-Dent with ProGuard, a breakthrough tablet and bath system. First, place your dentures into the bath and release the power of ProGuard to get them 4 times cleaner. Then you lift the inner basket to help seal in the clean with the ProGuard barrier, protecting against plaque and odor-causing bacteria from morning till night. Fix-It-Dent with ProGuard. Start cleaner, stay cleaner.
Nestle Treasures. You're gonna love the peanut buttery filling when you eat one. Ignore everything else. In other words, be a man.
Nestle Treasures. From you to you.
Here's your local forecast on the Weather Channel. Now the Michelin TravelWise Report, brought to you by Michelin and your local Michelin dealer.
It's time for TravelWise here on the Weather Channel, and not surprisingly, lots of rain all up and down the northeast and the eastern seaboard, and that is the remnants of Hurricane Floyd, now downgraded to a tropical storm. Tropical Storm Floyd, bringing a lot of rain. It's starting to end around Philadelphia, but you know what, New York City, you're still seeing the rain, heavy rain. We're talking, and it's all over. We could easily see well over 6 inches of rain in very windy conditions. This will last probably till just after midnight tonight. Then the wind will stick around and you'll start drying out throughout the day, but still look for very gusty winds. So if you're traveling perhaps even an SUV, you will be moved around on the highway. So if you can postpone travel to perhaps tomorrow evening, things will be a little bit safer, especially traveling the bridges, the Verrazano, the George Washington, even across the Hudson. Very dangerous. Windy conditions and rainy conditions all throughout the northeast. Also around the Four Corners, we're still watching for some stormy weather. We still have that same upper level low spinning around the Four Corners, and we still have a severe thunderstorm watch in effect until 7 p.m. local Arizona time this evening for severe thunderstorm. Numerous counties keep being warned, like Yavapai. Your warning just expired about 5 minutes ago, but not so for the cross